Huh? So now, here's an important lesson to know before we are going to approach any novelties. So my family from Mogador, right? And Rabbi Haim Pinto was the Rabbi of Mogador. But I don't know he was the official capacity of Rava Rashi of Mogador. He wasn't. There was a Beit Din, and he was the tzaddik. And somebody accepts, somebody didn't accept. One day, and this is written in the stories of Haim Pinto, which is what it was a few weeks ago. So there's a big Rav that comes from England, because England and Mogador had a connection because it was a port city, and the boats would come back and forth. So a big Rav comes and he says a drasha, and he was, Pe Mafik Margaliot, a wonderful darshan, a speaker that you can't come to his level of Torah, of knowledge, of the way of speaking, and he was holding. So everybody came, the whole Kehillah came, and the only one that didn't come was Rabbi Haim Pinto. He didn't come. So now they invited him again for Shabbos, and Shabbos again Friday night. It was a big thing, and people are starting to say, you see, Rabbi Pinto's not coming, he's not mechabed the Torah, he's not giving kabod, he's jealous, whatever you want. So somebody came and asked him, Rab, why are you not coming to see the drashot, to hear the chacham? He said, you're going to see why I'm not coming. That's what he told him. Friday, Shabbos morning, again, the full house, and of course, there was money. They poured money into him. They poured in money to him. And maybe he knew things, he didn't know things, I don't know. Doesn't say that in the story. Just said that he was a big person, a big, mishicha, people attracted to him, very attractive, very charismatic. And then Seudah Shlishit, the whole Mogador came to hear him. And now after the drash, after the Seudah Shlishit, it's still a bit light outside, he starts to take a walk. Let's take a walk. So everybody's now walking with the Rav outside. That's not a minhag over here, but who knows? You go for a walk, it's nice, there's the beach over here. And so he starts to walking towards the port. So now it's a bit funny, why are you going this way? The community is this way. You're going towards the boat, and what are you doing there? And so now he actually comes to the port. So that's a bit funny. Now he goes on the boat. You're not supposed to go on the boat on Shabbat. You can't be machin from Moshe Shabbos. He goes on the boat. So now people are saying, you can't go on the boat. It's Shabbat Kodesh, and what are you doing? And now he takes out a cigarette. He takes out a cigarette, and he lights the cigarette in front of all the community of Mogador on Shabbat. So now they're screaming, Chilu Shabbat. So then he says, Chilu Shabbat, that's for you fools. I said, what? He says, that's for Jews, not for a goy. And listen to what he did. He pulled down his pants in front of the whole Kehillah to show that he wasn't not circumcised and he was Haim. To the whole community, he showed them. He was a goy. He was a goy. Where did you learn Torah? He says it's not hard to learn Torah. There's the books in England, there's yeshivas today, bichlal with the internet. Reminds me of a joke, I'll tell you in a second. And the guy left with all the money, and the whole kila was bibusha bechirpa. Everybody was.
He knew.
So they came next to Rabbi Haim Pinto and says, Rabbi, why didn't you, how did you know? And he actually said how he knew. I won't get into that, how he knew. He says, but why didn't you say?
Yeah.
It's because you didn't ask. And I want to teach you a lesson. Before somebody comes in, we ask the Rabbanim what they say about him. Right. It doesn't come from the Hamon Am. I don't care if you have 1,000 people followers. I don't care if you have 100,000 followers. If I don't have a Gadol from the last generation to say you can listen to him, we don't listen. That's how it goes. There's Emunat Chachamim. There's a Shalshelet. I need that there is a smicha. The Rav once told me that there's a smicha in Breslov also. He has a smicha. You can go to him. You have an knowledge, not that you have the smicha to be able to go listen to that person. So I wanted to teach. That's why we never give credit to a person from the Hamon Am. It can't start from the Hamon Am. It has to start from the Gdolim. It has to say that when we see that the Gdolim are going to the Yanuka and they're kissing his hand and they're saying, we didn't see a Gadol like this, now I can go as well. Where do we learn this from? That's how it has to be. Moshe Rabbeinu is coming from Midjan. Nobody knows who he is. Aaron HaKohen is the Rebbe. Everybody knows Aaron. We have no compartment to be able to start to size Moshe Rabbeinu. What in the world do you know about Moshe Rabbeinu? What do you know about Shem? He's a big Rav, and you know something about Torah that you can say he's a big Rav? I need the biggest to say he's bigger than me, and there's no questions. Only if Aaron HaKohen has to get off the seat and give Moshe Rabbeinu the seat, otherwise we're not allowed to go to Moshe Rabbeinu. That's how it goes. By the way, the whole Geulah was because of that. We only had Geulah Mitzrayim because Aaron HaKohen took away his kavod. He said he's the younger brother, but he's the bigger Rebbe, and he's the Rav, and that's why we had the Geulah. If you're going to tell me now, here's an amazing painter, amazing singer, amazing artist, a wonderful doctor, you're going to tell me, what do you know? What do you know? I need the world's expert in music or the world's expert in medicine to tell me this is head above. So we have to look. That's why there was a smicha. Smichat Chamim.
When Rabbeinu came out, everybody was against him.
You're right. So Rabbeinu has his father gives him smicha. Rabbeinu's father is a grandson of Baal Shem Tov. Is Rabbeinu's mother. Rabbeinu's grandfather. All the Talmidei Baal Shem Tov were with him. Mm-hmm. Rabbeinu is the family. You know, his father is his Rebbe. He has a smicha from his father. Rab Simcha. Rab Nachman Hordiger.
That was against him.
Yeah.
Yes, but he's not coming from nowhere. It's not. Rabbeinu's claim to fame is not the Hamon Am. If the simple people are telling you this is the big tzaddik, you have to go to him. Don't just.
I don't know. It's arguable that because you could say that Dafka Rabbi Nachman's popularity in this generation Dafka came from the Hamon Am, because you see that the elite in the Torah world still have not mekabed Rabbi.
What I'm just saying is that I agree with you're saying something very true, and David HaMelech also had to start with Pashut people because there's a lot of klipot on the gloim. They can't give it up. But he's not coming from only the Hamon Am. He's coming from the Maggid of Terevitza, who's a Talmid of the Baal Tanya, who danced with Rabbi Shlomo. That's the Baal Shem Tov. He says he saw the Baal Shem Tov. He says, "This is my Rebbe at 18 years old." You know, he gave a haskama to the Siddur of the Baal Tanya. You know, he's meeting with the Baal Tanya. The Baal Tanya is giving all the kavod. Mm-hmm. He's with Rabbi Avram Kalitzker and all the Rabbi Tzachar Berdichov said, if I could tell the whole world to go to Rabbeinu, go to Rabbeinu. Just, I know they're not going to listen to me. So you see that the Gdoilim are be'ad Rabbeinu, and there was a machloket, and Rabbeinu said, I'm bringing the machloket on me. Right. But it wasn't now a few Sfardim that say, like a few Chinunim that say, what, does he made a moifet, and now it becomes a Rebbe. You know? That's why Rav Chaim Pinto said, I'm going to teach you a lesson. You come to the Rabbanim to ask if you could go. Now, if the Rabbanim tells you, for example, how did the Baba Sali became known in Eretz Yisrael? Because he came into Rabbi Yitzchak el-Fandri. Rabbi Yitzchak el-Fandri was living in Sfat. He was the Saba Kadisha. He was Kodesh Kodeshim, a Posek Ador. He was the holiest man in Eretz Yisrael, Zaken. When he came in, he stood up for the Baba Sali. Mm-hmm. He stood up for him. Once he stood up for the Baba Sali, that means, okay, this is a place we're allowed to go to. That's it, we're allowed to go to. He gave him a smicha. So just to know that before you go somewhere.
But how do you know, for example, in the story like what we saw in Torah 61, with you have Doeg, who's Posek Hador, you have Shaul HaMelech, who's anointed from Hashem, and